Uh-oh. Y'all done made the GOAT mad. Y'all done made the GOAT mad, and I don't blame her, okay? It's already too much foolishness going on with this crooked WNBA CBA stance that they're taking, okay? She already got to deal with that.
That's not just frustration. That's someone who's already dealing with a league-wide contract crisis, now facing incompetence from her own organization. Caitlin Clark just called out the Indiana Fever publicly, and the reason why reveals a pattern that should terrify Fever management because her contract doesn't last forever. And this kind of sloppiness, it's the type of thing that makes superstars leave.
Caitlin Clark's second season in the WNBA with the Indiana Fever was limited to 13 games due to a series of injuries, including groin and ankle problems. Despite her absence, including groin and ankle problems, teammates Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell powered the Fever to the semifinals of the 2025 WNBA playoffs before they fell to the Las Vegas Aces in overtime of Game 5.
So here's what happened. The Fever's social media team posted a highlight reel of Aaliyah Boston's dominant defensive performance in Unrivaled, where she's leading the entire league with 24 blocks. Should be a celebration, right? Except they uploaded the video in such poor quality that it's literally unwatchable. We're talking distorted, pixelated, migraine-inducing footage that looks like it was compressed through a flip phone from 2005. Jefferson inside.
What is that? What is that? Why does it look like this?
Charging Gustafson.
Yo, I heard the social media team, somebody got fired. I don't know, but this is ridiculous. This is embarrassing. Who posted this? Who's responsible for this low-level, low-quality crap that got
Key Nile?
Who's responsible for this? What are we talking about?
Watch Caitlin's response carefully. Respectfully, how am I supposed to watch this? Now I have a migraine. That word choice matters. Respectfully is what you say when you're trying not to explode publicly. It's the professional equivalent of I'm about to lose it, but I'm keeping my composure. And she posted this in the comments where everyone can see it, which means she wanted this criticism to be public. That's not a casual complaint. That's a warning shot.
What are we talking about? This, okay? Caitlin Clark said, it says, Clark caught a glimpse of the Fever's post, but immediately noticed something wrong with the video, sharing a complaint in the comments. Respectfully, how am I supposed to watch this? Clark wrote, now I have a migraine. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all not on point, man. And this goes beyond the video. Y'all not on point all around. You got Stephanie White running around talking about how...
Now, some people might think this is just about one bad video post. It's not. This is about organizational competence at every level, and the Fever have been showing cracks all season. Remember, this is the same organization where head coach Stephanie White has been making comments about other players being her #1 priority. The same organization where Kelsey Mitchell publicly discussed how she believes in Stephanie White and feels like it's her team now. Those aren't random statements. That's a shift in organizational focus that Caitlin can see happening in real time. And when you're the player who single-handedly transformed a franchise from irrelevance to playoff contention, watching your team publicly elevate other players while failing at basic tasks like posting a quality video, that creates resentment.
On May 9th, as Paige Beckers and Dallas Wings are scheduled to come to Indianapolis. However, the 2026 season is in jeopardy thanks to the stalemate between the league and the players over a new CBA agreement. Indiana Fever got to get on point, man. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that y'all did this, like not having it together. I mean, come on, man. Come on. She's already annoyed with the CBA. Y'all do know.
Let's talk about what Caitlin Clark actually did for this franchise. In her rookie season, despite missing 13 games due to groin and ankle injuries, she averaged 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 9 assists. She earned her second All-Star selection and was named one of 10 starters. But more importantly, she made the Indiana Fever relevant again. Before Caitlin arrived, the Fever were an afterthought. Empty arenas, minimal media coverage, a franchise drifting toward irrelevance. She changed that overnight. Suddenly Fever games mattered, tickets sold out, national broadcasts wanted their games. The entire organization's value skyrocketed because of one player.
And then, Twitter and the internet, they like to read the tea leaves. And look, they were right. Angel Reese returned to Unrivaled. So they be getting it right sometimes. We can't just always knock them and complain and say they don't know what they're talking about. And then sometimes they do get it right. But it was, announced that Brianna Stewart is going to be returning to EuroLeague play. Okay. And that surprised some people because of the timing for it.
It wasn't the timing. It's the whole thing of it's the lie.
And here's the thing about organizational competence. It's not just about winning games. It's about showing your superstar that you're worthy of them. The Los Angeles Lakers keep LeBron James happy not just with roster moves, but by running a first-class operation top to bottom. The Las Vegas Aces keep Aya Wilson because they handle every detail professionally. When you have a generational talent, you don't get to be sloppy. You don't get to post low-quality content. You don't get to publicly shift focus to other players. You have to be locked in at every level. The Fever aren't doing that. And Caitlyn's public complaint is her way of saying, I'm watching, and I'm not impressed.
Lady, and for one, it's a conflict of interest. I don't care what none of y'all say. This whole Unrivaled situation, all of this stuff is a conflict of interest. Okay? They said that Unrivaled was being created so that people did not have to go overseas. Well, you're in Unrivaled, so what are you still going overseas for? Y'all said it was too much on your body. Why are you doing it then? Why are you doing it? That's what I'm saying. A lot of the people in the WNBPA, they've been lying this whole time, bro. I'm be honest with y'all. A lot of people in the WNBPA been lying. And it's just coming out slowly but surely. Don't forget, we had players come out and say they feel like the WNBPA is being greedy. We had players come out and say that in an interview. What are we talking about here? It's a lot going on. My eyes peeled, ears to the streets. I am staying in tune.
Now let's connect this to the bigger picture, because Caitlyn's frustration with the Fever is happening at the exact same time she's dealing with a dysfunctional Women's National Basketball Association Players Association. The CBA negotiations have turned into a complete disaster, with the 2026 season literally in jeopardy because the players and league can't agree on terms. Multiple players have gone on record saying they feel the WNBA is being greedy. Not fans saying that, not media, other WNBA players. Think about what that means. Caitlyn is trying to navigate a league-wide crisis where her own union is making decisions she might not agree with. And simultaneously, her franchise can't even post a video correctly. She's getting squeezed from both sides. And I will be giving you all updates right here on Keep the Vision. Get down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. This is Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, Indiana Fever. And then there's the Unrivaled situation, which exposes another layer of dysfunction in how WNBA players have been communicating their priorities. For months, we heard that Unrivaled was created specifically so players wouldn't have to go overseas anymore. The whole pitch was, play in the United States, stay close to home, protect your body from international travel. That was the narrative. Except now players who are in Unrivaled are also going overseas. Brianna Stewart just announced she's returning to international play. So what was Unrivaled actually solving? If the goal was to eliminate overseas basketball because it's too demanding on players' bodies, but those same players are now doing both Unrivaled and overseas leagues, then the original justification was either misleading, or the situation has changed and nobody's explaining why. This matters because it speaks to a larger pattern of WNBA players and their representatives not being straight with fans about what they actually want. The messaging keeps shifting. First it was we need Unrivaled to avoid overseas. Now it's we're doing Unrivaled and overseas. First it was the CBA needs to be fair. Now multiple players are saying the WNBA is being greedy.
Embarrassing. Who posted this? Who's responsible for this low-level, low-quality crap that got...
Key Nile!
Who's responsible for this? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? This, okay? Caitlin Clark said, it says, Clark caught a glimpse of the Fever's post, but immediately noticed something wrong with the video, sharing a complaint in the comments. Respectfully, how am I supposed to watch this? Clark wrote, now I have a...
So bring it back to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. She's watching all of this unfold. The league chaos, the union dysfunction, the mixed messaging around player priorities. And right in the middle of that noise, her own team posts a video so poorly produced it's hard to watch. That's the moment she chooses to speak up publicly. Because here's what the Fever need to understand. Caitlin Clark is not contractually tied to Indiana forever. Her current deal will run its course, and when that moment arrives, she will have options. Every team in the league will want her. Some will present stronger rosters, some bigger markets, some more stable coaching situations, and some simply more polished organizations. Right now, Indiana's biggest advantage is simple: they drafted her and control her rights. But that advantage comes with an expiration date. And every small misstep, every sloppy detail, every public moment that appears to shift focus away from their franchise centerpiece, all of it gets remembered. Elite athletes keep receipts. They remember who operated professionally and who didn't. They remember who made their environment first class and who couldn't even execute the basics. The Fever are playing with fire if they assume Clark will stay indefinitely just because her career started there. The Women's National Basketball Association isn't the same as it was a decade ago. Players have leverage now. Superstars especially. And when your franchise jumped from irrelevance to national relevance largely because of one player, complacency isn't an option. You don't get to fumble the small things. You don't get to send mixed signals publicly. When Stephanie White talks up Kelsey Mitchell as a focal point, whether intentional or not, that becomes organizational messaging. And messaging matters. It tells your franchise star exactly how the team is positioning itself long-term. Maybe Indiana is trying to build balance. Maybe the goal is to avoid being overly dependent on one player. Strategically, that's understandable. But here's the reality: Caitlin Clark is not a typical star. She's a rare, market-moving talent who brings attention, revenue, and visibility at a level the league rarely sees. Players like that aren't treated as interchangeable pieces. They become organizational pillars. Look at how the Las Vegas Aces center their culture around Aya Wilson. Look at how the New York Liberty embraced Breanna Stewart the moment she arrived. Look at how the Seattle Storm built their identity for years around Sue Bird. Those organizations recognize the assignment. When you have that level of star power, the operation tightens up everywhere. From roster moves to media output, everything reflects elite standards. Right now, the Fever aren't consistently projecting that level of polish. And Clark's public comment about video quality reads less like a one-off complaint and more like a signal about expectations. The subtext is simple: the standard needs to be higher. Because if Indiana doesn't sharpen up, the long-term risk is obvious. When Clark's next contract window opens, whether through extension or eventual free agency, every franchise will be ready to pitch her. And at that point, her decision won't just be about money or roster fit. It will also be about trust, professionalism, and which organization proved it could match her level of excellence. So the real question for Indiana isn't about one bad video. The coach talked about other players being the priority, and I spent half my time frustrated with their incompetence. That's the calculation the Indiana Fever need to be thinking about right now, because losing Caitlin Clark would be catastrophic for the franchise. Not just on the court, where she's clearly their most impactful player, but financially, where she drives ticket sales, merchandise, sponsorships, and national media attention. If she ever walks, Indiana risks sliding right back into irrelevance. They'd become the cautionary tale, the team that landed a generational star and still managed to fumble the opportunity because basic organizational standards weren't consistently met. And here's the part that should worry the front office even more: the rest of the league is watching. Free agents absolutely pay attention to how franchises treat their cornerstone players. They notice the sloppy social posts. They hear the mixed messaging from the coaching staff. They clock the public frustration. In a tight-knit league like the Women's National Basketball Association, where players talk constantly and information travels fast, reputation carries real weight. Indiana is at a fork in the road. They can treat Clark's comment as what it likely is, an early warning signal, and tighten the operation across the board. Cleaner media execution, clearer and more unified messaging from Stephanie White and staff, and visible commitment to building the next decade around their franchise centerpiece. Or they can shrug it off as one star being picky about a video and keep business as usual. History across pro sports is pretty clear about how that second path usually ends. Elite players rarely stay long-term in environments that feel disorganized or misaligned with their standards. Maybe not this year. Maybe not next. But when real leverage arrives, through extension talks or eventual free agency, memories like these factor in. So the real question for Fever leadership is simple: do you want Clark in Indiana for the long haul? If the honest answer is yes, then the margin for sloppiness just disappeared. Every department, media, coaching, front office, has to operate like they're supporting a franchise-level superstar, because they are. If not, the risk isn't just losing games.